And a lot of people have no clue that our stress and our gut are even related. So if you have, some anxiety or, oh, there she is. There's my Aunt Kathy. She comes to all my workshops. She's the best. Hi, Dana. So what people don't know is if you have something that you think is brain related, anxiety, depression, mood disorders, even when it comes to ADHD and autism and things like that, people have no idea that those things can be related to your gut, what's going on in your gut. And then when people have gut issues, IBS, constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, bloating, that those things can all be related to what is going on in your mind, your thoughts, and vice versa. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and hopefully be able to improve both by just some really simple things. So number one, I want you to just think about, rate your overall stress level on average. And just kind of have this in your mind, because I want you to take what we do today and put it into practice, and then come back and see if your number has gone down. There's a few just simple things that you can do that I think we can get that number down a little bit. So I don't feel like I'm a very stressed person. I've learned and I've practiced a lot on how to respond to stressful events. But that being said, of course, I have stressful things going on in my life. But I would say, hi, Carrie. I would say I would rate myself at about a 4 stress level. Of course, it goes up and down situationally. But other than situationally, just your own sort of stress, think of a number of how stressed you feel on a daily basis. Doesn't matter what the situation is, just kind of in your body, in your mind. And you can put it in the chat, or you can just write it down or something. And I posted in the event to everybody bring a pen and a Post-it note. Because what we're going to do from today forward, because our thoughts and our words are so powerful, our body, our actual physical cells of our body are always listening to our thoughts and our words. And they're way more powerful. Hi, Anna. They're way more powerful than you think. So everything that we think and everything that we say, our body's listening to it, and it follows our lead. So I want you to just get a Post-it note like so. And I want you to write something on it, and you can look at this every single morning. So whether you go to open your coffee mug cabinet, or you look at your phone, hopefully you don't look at your phone right when you wake up. This is what we're going to write on the Post-it note, and we're going to look at it every morning. Today, I refuse to stress myself out about things I cannot control or change. I'll say that again. So today, I refuse to stress myself out about things that I cannot control or change. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do something about the things you can do something about. Of course, being proactive. But stressing yourself out about things that you cannot change is going to take a toll on the body. So if you have ever heard or seen anything about Bruce Lipton, I want him to be my new adopted grandpa, since I don't have grandpas anymore. He's amazing. The Biology of Belief is his book, and he's the godfather of epigenetics. So epigenetics means above genetics. Most people think that they are just born the way they're born, and their genes rule everything. And my dad had heart disease, so I'll probably have heart disease. So there's estimations between 2 and 5% of disease is actually genetic, where there's nothing you can do about it. The other 95% of disease, and that includes just the things that we have going on in our gut, can be changed. Even if you have the genes for something, you can change them. You can go above your genes, epigenetics. And this is done through my 4 pillars. So if you've done a workshop with me before, so we do this every Thursday at 3 o'clock. For those of you who are new, welcome. I have 4 pillars in my business. And these 4 pillars are how you build your health home. So if you're looking to improve any health issues, you need these 4 pillars to build your health home. Nutrition, like getting all of your nutrients, not just some of them. Detoxification, ridding the body of toxins that are poisoning your physical body and your mental body. improving your bacterial balance in your gut, and then the gut-brain connection. You can improve and change your genes based on those 4 things. So any health issue that you're looking to improve, that structure is what you want to build. So you might not think that nutrition or your bacteria or toxins in your body have anything to do with stress, but they have everything to do with stress. So your gut and your brain talk back and forth to each other all day long, like billions of times. And people are calling your gut your second brain. Some people are now calling it your first brain, like it might even be more important than the brain in your head for a lot of the activities and things that we do throughout the day. So for instance, serotonin, which is your happy hormone, is created in your gut, most of it. And most people think that serotonin is a brain thing, like serotonin goes to your brain to make you happy. That's what, if you're on an SSRI, which is an anti-anxiety med, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, most of your serotonin receptors are actually in your gut. So if your gut cannot receive that serotonin that is also made in the gut, then we're going to run into anxiety. So it's just one example of how your gut and your brain are connected, talking back and forth, and absolutely everything that happens in your gut absolutely affects everything going on emotionally and vice versa. So for instance, people with IBS, people with constipation, people with diarrhea, most of those issues come from something going on in the gut-brain connection. There's something a little bit out of whack. And the main nerve that runs from your brain, it fingers down through all of your organs. So it touches all of your organs, and there's all these nerve endings in your organs and in your gut lining. It's called the vagus nerve, not VEGAS, like we're not going to Vegas, but vagus, VAGUS. If there's some vagus nerve dysfunction, then your gut and your brain won't be talking back and forth to each other. So we need to improve the way that vagus nerve functions for that connection to be a strong connection and for us to be able to mitigate the effect of stress on our body. So looking at that Post-it every day, as many times as a day in the day as you can. You could even put it in multiple places. So for instance, if you're building your health home, right? So let's say you build your health home, you have your 4 pillars, you've got all your nutrition, your detoxification, your bacteria is great, and your gut-brain connection. And then stress comes your way. A huge storm comes your way, right? You've got your home, it's nice and strong, the storm comes, you come out of it the next day and you're fine, right? You can handle it in your health home. But let's say one of those pillars, one of those 4 pillars, or 2 or 3, is depleted and your roof is caved in. Now the stress comes, it's the big storm, and everything in your house is destroyed. So that's the same way with our body. If we don't have the pieces of the puzzle put together to have this strong mental, emotional, physical ability to handle the big stressors, that's when the stress starts to affect us. So the same exact thing could happen to 2 different people, but this person has all 4 pillars, they can handle it. Of course they might get upset, they might cry, they might be angry, sure, but they're not gonna let it affect their body physically like this person who only has one of the 4 pillars strong, their health house has crumbled. So that's why we really can't look at stress as something we can address with just 1 or 2 things. Like you can't just pop a pill and have the stress go away. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with antidepressants. I'm on an antidepressant. I'm on an SSRI. So I do believe that medication has its place. I'm a little bit anti-medication in the medical world when it is prescribed, when no other changes are suggested. Then I'm anti-medication. But when I had gut issues since I was a baby, and in my late 20s, early 30s, I finally started to try and get healthy, and anxiety was one of my things that I really wanted to address. So I got lots and lots of therapy, totally changed my diet, started really studying nutrition, I got acupuncture, I did Pilates, I meditated, all of the things that somebody would suggest for you to do for anxiety, and my anxiety was still there. So after about 2 to 3 years of really trying to address it, I got on an SSRI. And what I didn't know at that time, that nobody had told me, was that all my gut issues of the 30 years since I was born were really the issue behind my anxiety, right? Like all the meditation in the world wasn't going to heal all the damage that I had done to my gut. I had so many gut issues, and leaky gut is one of the main ones. And really, in our society today, I would venture to say almost everybody has leaky gut. And if you don't know what that is, you can watch, I think, episode number 3 of the Gut Health Happy Hour. All the replays are in the guides of the group. But leaky gut is one of the biggest causes of any issue that you can think of today. And I had extreme leaky gut. Nobody told me that then. I didn't know then until years later, after I went to school and studied and did all this work. I was like, oh, I had leaky gut my whole life. So it's no wonder why all that work I did wasn't getting rid of my anxiety, right? Because my gut issues, my serotonin receptors in my gut was damaged. So I couldn't take in that serotonin. So putting me on the SSRI was what finally got rid of that anxiety. So, medication can sometimes be necessary, but in the meantime, you still want to figure out what the root cause of your problem is. Just putting a medication on but not doing anything else is what I don't like about our medical system today. Most of the people I talk to a lot of you in this group, will come to me and say, I've been to this doctor and this doctor and this doctor and this doctor, and I still feel like crap. And I say, well, what other recommendations did they have for you? And they are like, everyone goes, nothing, just medication. And so we wonder why we still feel like crap, because that's not really helping. That's not getting to the root cause of why this issue is happening in the first place. So a few things that we can do to improve that gut-brain connection. So like I said, the vagus nerve. So you can look up VAGUS, and you can look up vagus nerve exercises. So we can physically improve, it's called vagal tone, physically improve vagal tone. Meditation does it, movement does it, but more kind of intricately, like gargling with water will physically activate the vagus nerve. Singing, humming, it's like a cat purring is a very like medicinal vibration. And so that's what you can do. Like if you hum, you can kind of feel that vibration. That will stimulate your vagus nerve. But being able to calm yourself at any point in your day is also a way that we can improve, because you don't want, so this goes back to caveman days, and I'm sure you guys have heard me say this a lot of times, but back in the day, if you had to run from a tiger, the first thing your body would do is shut down the digestion, because your digestion is the most energy consuming process in the body. And it would shoot up your cortisol, which is your hormone that deals with stress. It would shoot all the blood out to the limbs so that you could run from the tiger. And clearly you don't need to be digesting food. You're not going to like grab something to eat on your way out from running from a tiger, right? So your body is innately intelligent. It knows we don't need to be digesting food here. We're going to breathe really shallow. We're going to run. And that's all we need to be doing. But today we have all this stress in our lives. So we're constantly in that fight or flight mode that your body knows so innately what to do with. But your body doesn't know the difference between, oh God, like I'm in traffic, or I'm checking an email, or whatever the minor stress is. But we react to it so over the top that our body goes into fight or flight. And that vagus nerve is going to be sending signals up and down, up and down, up and down, like we're stressed. And it's going to tell the organs, shut down, shut down, shut down. And it's not going to bring blood to the organs. It's going to put the blood out into the limbs. So we need to intentionally be able to get out of fight or flight into rest and digest, right? Hi, Yasmin. So that is in our society today, where everything is more stressful, I was just reading that antidepressants went up 21% since 2020. Everything is more stressful than it used to be, right? We have constant news, we have constant phones. You know, when you were young, you used to just like leave the house and play in the forest for 4 hours. That's not stressful. But now there's so much more stress on everybody, but it's really impacting children. I read that 32% of children 13 to 18 have anxiety, 42% of 19 to 25-year-olds have anxiety. So it's really just a more stressful world that we live in, which means we have to be more proactive about mitigating the effect on our body. So we've done this before here, but we need to get some ways into our every single day routine to get our body out of fight or flight into rest and digest. So one of the quickest ways to do that, you know, this goes back forever. When people are stressed out and everyone goes, take a deep breath, right? You see that on all the movies. Well, there's a reason for it. It's a scientific reason. You're actually telling your body, because if you were running from a tiger, there's no way you'd be going, right? So that's literally telling your body that there's nothing to be stressed out about. Then your body can go into rest and digest. And the only way that we can digest food is in rest and digest. The only way our body can heal itself, rebuild its cells, do any of its processes that it needs to do, like millions of processes, the only way it can do that is in rest and digest. It literally cannot function other than keeping you alive when you are in fight or flight. So big deep breaths. Anytime you're going to do anything, when you wake up in the morning, you don't want to wake up and pick up your phone and get right into fight or flight. And oh my God, I got to do this. Some deep breaths right before you eat, right? And you really want to relax your shoulders, relax your collarbone, relax your chest. Think about breathing down into your diaphragm. So your diaphragm connects around your rib cage. So think about not breathing up here, but breathing down here into your rib cage, and then just let it all out. That immediately tells your body nothing to stress out about, no big deal. So right before you eat, right before you go to bed, you know, if your kids stress you out, literally take a couple of deep breaths. Like, it just sounds so cheesy. Take a deep breath, but it's actually scientifically true. The next way we can get into rest and digest more often, gratitude. So the human nature is to look for the negative, and that is it's a defense mechanism, because again, if you're out in the forest, you always need to be sensing if there's an animal around, or you know what plants are poisonous. So we need to be on the lookout for negative, because we need to protect ourselves. So what we need to do is intentionally flip that around and always keep an eye out for the positive. Now, yes, if we're walking on the street in the dark, are we going to look out for a prowler? Is that even the right word? Yes, we're not going to just walk through life thinking that nothing is ever going to happen to us. But we need to retrain our subconscious to not just always go for the negative. And one way you can easily do that is gratitude. So first thing when you wake up in the morning, what I do in the morning is I come down here, and if you don't have a specific place to do it, like I have my studio, I'm very fortunate, but you can just do it right in your bed. Just sit, take a couple of deep breaths, think about what you're grateful for. Start your day in gratitude. I promise you your day will be so much better, and your gut will thank you. So writing it down is much more impactful than thinking it. It's something like 42% more impactful if you write down gratitude. Same with a goal. If you write down a goal, it's 42% more likely to happen if you write it down. So thinking it is good, yes. And if you're driving, of course, like thinking it, you don't want to write it down then. But if you can, write it down. I've got so many journals all over the place filled with my gratitude and my goals and things like that. but it immediately puts your body, so your body emits a frequency. Every different emotion has a frequency, and gratitude is one of the highest frequencies there is. So your body immediately gets into this really good energetic state when you show gratitude. Hi, Monica. So a couple deep breaths, a little bit of gratitude, and then it sounds silly and people don't like to do them, but affirmations are so big, you guys. I can't explain to you how much affirmations can change your life. So, like I told you before, and this is something that my new grandpa Bruce Lipton says, speaking things into the universe, even thinking things in your head, the cells of your body, like the actual, and he discovered this in the 70s, and people still don't know it. The actual cells of your body, the exterior of the cell is actually the brain of the cell, and it takes in messages from your thoughts. So right now, think of eating like whatever your favorite food is, like a big juicy cheeseburger or like a big juicy slice of pizza. What happens? Right? Your saliva comes out. Like, are you salivating? Because your brain just told your body that food is about to come in. So you need your saliva to start breaking down the carbohydrates in your mouth. There's an enzyme called amylase in your saliva that starts to break down the food in your mouth. That cues your stomach acid and your digestive enzymes to get released to break down the food in the stomach. So the whole digestive process starts with a thought, which is why we want to get into rest and digest. If you do not get into rest and digest before you eat, the saliva doesn't get released, the stomach acid and the digestive enzymes don't come out, your food will sit in your stomach. You will have bloating, you will have heartburn, you will have constipation, whatever else you have. Right? So just that right there. Like, have you ever had butterflies in your stomach when you're nervous? How do you think that happens? Clearly your body is listening to you, listening to your thoughts. So with affirmations, you repeat them. Like, I have a whole list of affirmations I repeat daily. And I try and do these things every day. I'm not saying I'm perfect 365 days a year. But the more repetitive, the better. So I have a little exercise we're going to do. So I don't know if you've heard of Louise Hay, but she is sort of the pioneer of how your thoughts affect your physical body. And this is just a great little book to have around. Like, clearly I have this because when I work with clients, we use affirmations out of this, and I used them in my Happy Belly Method program as well. But you can look up specific issues and then find out what affirmation is going to help that issue based on the emotion that causes that issue. So if you're real brave, put in the comments some issue that you would like to address, a physical issue. So for instance, in any kind of issue you want to address, and I'll give you a for instance here while I'm waiting. Somebody be brave and put something in there. Okay, so constipation. Is anybody going to put anything in there? Come on, people. Constipation represents the release of waste. So holding it in could be the fear of letting go of the old and things that are no longer needed. So your affirmation would be, letting go is easy. I freely and easily release the old and joyously welcome the new. So that would be something that you would put in your list of affirmations. And you could go through this book and get all your problems, do your affirmations every day, and see how they improve. Now, that being said, remember, this is only one of the 4 pillars. This is the gut-brain connection. So we still have to do the other 3 pillars to really improve the issue for good. So we're working on 1 pillar, but don't forget about those other 3 pillars. Just doing this isn't going to magically solve your problem. And that's what people get really they need immediate, what's that term? Immediate satisfaction. So they want to take a pill, or they want somebody to get rid of their problem right away. But the thing is if you don't address all 4 pillars and get them built up, you might get rid of that one problem and another problem will come, and another and another. And it just gets worse as we get older because your body is tired and you've abused it for a lot of years, right? So we still need to do the 4 pillars. So this is not going to be a magic pill for you unless you've already done those other 3 pillars, right? Okay. Thank you, Anna. Instant gratification. Exactly. Okay. So bloating. Thank you, Dana, for being part of my, oh, there's no bloating. Well, let's see if we can find something similar. There's probably, she doesn't have every single thing in here because it's kind of an old book. Oh, let's see, Candida. I know a lot of people have Candida. So that is feeling very scattered, lots of frustration and anger, demanding and untrusting in relationships. So if you have Candida, or yeast infections as well, anything yeast related. I don't like that word yeast. Your affirmation will be, I give myself permission to be all that I can be, and I deserve the very best in life. I love and appreciate myself and others. That's a good one. C. diff? Oh, yeah, Anna. No, because she doesn't have like specific bacteria, but she could have, I wonder if there's bacterial infections. And I'll see if there's anything related to bloating, because I think you guys all answer questions and you come in the group. Almost every single person says bloating. Okay, so here's anxiety, not trusting the flow and the process of life. And your affirmation is, I love and approve of myself, and I trust the process of life. I am safe. I am safe is such a great one to tell your body, because every time we get into that fight or flight, it's your body's thinking that we're not safe. So that is such a great one to tell your body every day, I'm safe. If anything is happening that is, disturbing to you, in your head, you can just repeat, I am safe. I am safe. I'm safe. Let's see. I'm surprised there's no bloating. Let's see. Cholesterol. Now, this is an interesting one because there's a lot of debate about cholesterol. There's so many doctors that say, if your cholesterol is a little bit high, we got to put you on a statin. I completely disagree with that. There are many changes that you can make to lower your cholesterol, but there's a lot of people coming out now and saying cholesterol is actually good for you, even if it's a little high. There's a lot of debate about this, but this is what Louise Hay has to say. Cholesterol, you're clogging the channels of joy. You have a fear of accepting joy. So your affirmation would be, I choose to love life. My channels of joy are wide open. It is safe to receive. That's a good one. Okay, how about colitis? Insecurity represents the ease of letting go of that which is over. So maybe holding on to some old grudge or something. So your affirmation would be, I'm part of the perfect rhythm and flow of life. All is divine. All is in divine right order. So this is a great little book. You can just get it on Amazon. But you can look up all kinds of Louise Hay things. She's passed now, but you can look up all kinds of great things from her. Diarrhea, fear, rejection. My intake, assimilation, and elimination are in perfect order. I am at peace with life. That's a good one. So you kind of get the idea, but she really did a lot of studies on what emotions were directly related to which physical issues. So it really is pretty fascinating. So the combination of the deep breathing, the gratitude, and the affirmations is really powerful. So even if you can get in 5 minutes a day to do that little trio, bonus points if you put some movement in there, some stretching, some moving, like physically get your organs moving, because we're asleep. All of our muscles are frozen. Our organs had to do all this work in the night without any water. And then we wake up and we just go like sit at the computer. And then we just go get in the shower and then we go to work. Like, get some movement into your organs. Like, get that connection open and flowing. Do some cat-cows, do some twists. Twisting really gets the juices flowing in your organs. So what I do is I come downstairs every day, sit, I do my deep breathing, I do my gratitude, I do my affirmations, and I do some movement. And I'm telling you, the way you start your day will reflect the rest of your day. But what it's doing is intentionally teaching yourself to get into rest and digest, because you don't want to be up here all the time 24/7. You got to be able to get down here, right? 10% of life is what happens to you, 90% is how you react to it. And a lot of this is just in our subconscious. If you have trauma that happened to you as a child, you may have been taught subconsciously to get into fight or flight all the time. So we have to intentionally do these practices. Heartburn. This is also ulcers or stomach problems. Fear, 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 clutching fear, she says. Your affirmation is, I breathe freely and fully. See, it's coming back to the breath. I am safe. I trust the process of life. So breathing fully. I am safe. I trust the process of life. Any other conditions you guys want me to look up? It's all alphabetical, but I didn't see any bloating. How about indigestion? That might be kind of bloating. Gut level fear, dread, anxiety. I digest and assimilate all new experiences peacefully and joyously. That's a good one. So that is our little masterclass on stress. So again, acne. Again, we want to realize that we still have to do all four of the pillars. We still got to get our nutrition on point. We've still got to detoxify the body, and we still have to balance the gut bacteria, right? So all four pillars. This is what I do in the Happy Belly Method in my program. I get my clients to 100% on all those pillars so their health house is strong. Then you can handle all the storms that come your way, right? So whatever health issue you've got going on, it doesn't even have to be specific gut issues. I have people that just come in that want to optimize their health because they're getting older and they want their retirement to be the best that it can possibly be. So we build their health house so they can retire, right? So if you are interested, I only have 2 spots left for June. I had a busy week last week. So I only have 2 spots open for June. If you want to talk about joining the program, I would love to have any one of you. So I do free calls. I will put my link to my call here, my schedule. So I offer free calls to anyone who wants to just chat about issues, next steps. And we'll just talk about what you've got going on with you, what your goals are, et cetera, and see if you're a good fit to be in the Happy Belly Method. I would love to have you. So Anna, acne, not accepting the self, dislike of the self. And your new, so she calls this your new thought pattern. I am a divine expression of life. I love and accept myself where I am right now. That's a good one. So if you have kids too, if kids are going through things and it's kind of anxiety related, this might be a really good thing to teach kids when they're little so that they have these tools as they get older. I didn't know anything about this when I was a kid, right? Maybe I wouldn't have had 30 years of gut issues and anxiety if I knew these tools, and they're all free. Any questions about any of that? Good one, right? Anna, you would love this book. And I think it's like $7 or something on Amazon. And then I'm actually going to post a podcast. Bruce Lipton was on with my health mentor, Sean Stevenson. If you guys want a health podcast, it is the best podcast out there. And I'm going to post the one that Bruce Lipton was on because I've listened to it 3 times over the last probably 3 or 4 years. I can't get enough of it. It's just absolutely fascinating. So you guys can listen to that. Oh yeah. It's kind of nice to have the book. Yes, Rachel, this will be on the replay. So you guys, all the replays for all the happy hours are in the guides section of this group. So if you ever want to go back and look at a replay, leaky gut, bacterial testing, stress, whatever else we've done, detoxification, you can go to the guides and they will all be there for you. So if you're new to the group, you can make your way through each one of the guides. And basically what I'm trying to do is give you a Reader's Digest version of what I do with my clients in my Happy Belly method. And of course, I work one-on-one with my clients to get all this done. We do a 30-day gut cleanse. We do test the gut microbiome so we can get a really personalized protocol down for you. And I work together with you for 16 weeks to get rid of your gut issues. But I wanted to just kind of share all of these things as I can to help people who maybe aren't ready to come into the full program. Yasmin, yeah, you can have the replay. They're all in the guides section. So anybody can have all the replays. They're all there all the time. Any questions about that? You have your homework. You have your Post-it and you have your morning routine, right? So if you do it, let's hear it in the group. Take pictures of your Post-it. I want to hear how it goes. So whatever your number was today when you rated yourself on stress, I want to hear about it in 2 weeks. And we'll see if it's improved. All right, everybody. Love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you all same time, same place next week. Bye.